is a how-to ink. Now, a lot of people have a different way of doing this, and you can use your own method. It's fine, you know, any way that works is okay by me, but I'm going to show you how I do it. The first thing that I do is I make sure that my pens are working. So we're going to do that. I got to get the wipe this off, make sure any dust is gone off here. Now this is going to be a basic ink job, so we're not going to do an elaborate layout, but you know, I want something nice. And check the pen. I use the Rapidograph pens. Make sure that they're loose. You can hear it rattling in there, and it works. Okay, there we go. Now I have some tape that it's 3M, but I really don't care for it. It's this 3M green tape. It never was worth a darn as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't really stick. So I'm going to use it for some layout lines. And well, what I'm going to do for layout lines is just make marks where I can, so we, you know, see where we're going. Now I got 18 inches here. I want to kind of split the 18 inches. 18 and 18, 23. So we'll just go at 12 inches out. That's close enough, 12 inches. And I'm going to put a piece of tape at 12 inches. And at that 12 inches I want a perpendicular line going up. Hopefully that will matter of fact, let's do a tip line before I go too much farther. There's a line. I'm using the natural lines of the airplane. There's a line here we're going to accentuate. You can do it ever how you want. There's no rules to inking a plane. It's as little or as how much you ever want to put on it. Let me get some regular masking tape so I can tape the ruler down. There's also a line in here where the grain kind of shows through. So we're going to use an ink line to hide that as well. Now, because this is an easy job, I'm not going to do any inking up on the leading edge. And I've already decided that I would stop it on the orange. So, in order to make sure that it's square, I'll take the triangle. That's pretty square to the trailing edge. And I just take and hold the pen at 90 degrees to the work. We get the ink to start flowing, and then one line, drag it at a nice even pace all the way across. And we're going to stop there. Now the next ink line. Now remember, anything you put on this side is going to have to be done on the other side. So if you're not going to do an elaborate job, don't make it elaborate. That's basically the best way around it. So now I'm going to mark it with some tape where I want my third line to go. We wanted it about a 1/4 inch away to accent the orange line. So this tape is 1/4 inch. We'll add a piece of tape here, 1/4 inch. Now, for my yardstick, I've taken masking tape and I've backed it up about 5 rows of tape on the back side, because we're going to pull a line that's 24 inches long or so. Now, to keep it from moving, I just tape it down. There's nothing more disastrous than to have your line, as you're going down the way, the ruler move. So just tape it down. What could it hurt? Start right on the line, and then 1 easy pass, keeping it at the same speed, 90 degrees to the work. This will be a short video because we're not going to show the complete inking of the whole airplane, because it will be just repetition of what I'm doing here. I really hate to do this, but it kind of skipped there, so I'm going back over it. It's not a good idea to go over your work, but I pulled it off. So that's the third line, and we'll take that off. And you can do whatever design you want to do on your airplane, and there's nobody that can tell you otherwise. Now, I will say this: these ink lines represent or give the illusion of panel lines. Wendy stated in his video that that he bought a draftsman type stencil, and it had different kitchen appliances and things on it, a toilet, and I think we're going to have to remeasure because I want to kind of get this in the center. 22, so we wanted it at 11, so it was an inch over, so we'll put it right here on this side, and that will be right. So you don't want to put any toilets or windows or wash machines or anything like that, because there's none of that stuff on an airplane. But you want to make sure that the lines running forward are square to the trailing edge, or relatively close. I mean, reasonable facsimile thereof. And I think probably, I don't know, Billy's really good at inking, but Gene Martin, that man, if you look at his airplanes, his ink jobs are flawless. This is not really hard to do. It's fun to do. Nobody could tell you that it's not right. For that fact, nobody could tell you it's not right because of your whole airplane. It's your airplane. You can do it whatever you want. So now, what I like to do on these easy ink jobs, which was something that I discovered when I laid my Thunderbolt out 10 years ago, is I try to keep this, we're breaking the second panel off in the center, but I'm going to try to keep the second line that runs perpendicular to the leading edge. I'm going to try to parallel it with the trailing edge of the flap. And that looks the most appealing. So what I do is I come in 1/4 inch on the root, and I take the ruler and I just measure up there. Again, you can do this any way you want. Doesn't have to be like this, but I measure up. I take 1/4 inch piece of tape and I tape on this side of the wing, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to come over here, we're going to lay this down. Rather boring, but I thought I'd give an insight on how I do a basic ink job. On this second line, I do it by eye, and the reason being is I don't want a piece of tape in there, so come over here. Could use any tape, masking tape, electrical tape, whatever for these marks. We're going to make another mark there. And what I do is I split this line 50%. If you make a mistake, you can get this off with alcohol. I suggest you don't make mistakes. You think about it. I make this look easy, but I've done it a million times. You think about it before you start inking, because if you start smearing this with alcohol, it is tough to get off. It is really tough. So now I'm going to continue on with the around the flap. We're going to make the flap line on it, and that kind of breaks it up and gives it a little busyness. These are different hinges than I'm normally used to. They're cloth hinges, so I'm used to doing this inking with the flap off the airplane. That's alright, we'll make do with what we got. So I finished up the flap there, and we'll do the same on the tip. And that's it. That's all we're going to get on this airplane for an ink job per side. We'll do this 4 times. Some basic ink on the elevator stabilizer. And that's it. Tom sent me some decals I'm going to try to incorporate in this, which are just some basic decals, AMA, Pampa, FAI, so on and so forth. We'll get those down before the clear. So let's make sure that I did this correct. I'm way off the mark there. It's I see what happened there. So we just have to make sure we do this the same on the other side. I think we're going to do one more line here. Oh no, I know why. Okay. So let's do this side. I'll do this side and then I'll cut the camera and we'll finish it up. But I just kind of wanted to show you how long it takes to do a basic job. So we're taping the ruler down. Warm up here. Okay, and we want to make sure that it's square. What happened to my... There it is. Remember, this is all... I do all this stuff by eye. It's not a mystery. There's no need to really measure. It's not a scale airplane. I think the biggest thing to inking is learning the speed to pull it and the angle to hold the pen. So I did that all the way, so that looks good. And I can't remember what I said, was it 11? I think it was 11 to the center, 22, but this one's a little longer. Oh, I know, we got to do this line here. Now, I used tape over there to measure those lines to see how far back it was, but here I'm just going to eyeball it. Make sure that it's straight, parallel with the paint line. I'm going to tape it down, just tack it down. I should have gloves on. This is white, and white picks up the dirt so easy it's ridiculous. But I want to get this done. I don't want to spend all day inking an airplane. Anyway, because today we're going to do our compound molding video. Anyway, I didn't want to make this a major project. We're not building a watch. I just want to make it aesthetically pleasing. That's it. Now we have to measure the distance that we have here. I think it was 11, and I'm not sure what it's 22, so it is 11. I'm going to come in. I'm just going to tick mark it. I'm not going to tape it. I want to go as fast as I can go to get this done. You guys got to understand, I'm doing these in production. This is, so there we go, that's 11. I want to make it nice, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life doing it either. So now we have to make this parallel or perpendicular to the trailing edge. I just take a square, put it on the trailing edge. We're bumping the ruler. Till it's perpendicular. And that's close. Not building the watch. So you can spend months, weeks, depending on how elaborate you want to get with inking, doing an ink job. I just wanted a, you know, a nice looking, simple design, because I said I would do some inking on these. Just these airplanes are probably 15, 16 point airplanes. So now, if I remember right, I said it was a 1/4 inch on the inboard side, plus it was up here. I just want to let her rip, tater chip. Try to make this parallel with the trailing edge of the flap, this line here. It makes it look more realistic. And of course, if you make a mistake, you can always wipe it off and start again. We have no clear on this airplane, so wiping it off and making a mistake is really not an option, because boy, what a mess it makes. There's black crap everywhere. Remember, oh, picked up a little bit of goop there. So, already got a white little dot of crap off it. It wasn't dry. Okay, last line on the top on this side. Want to center, do this in the center here, which is approximately there. I'm not sure you guys can actually see what I'm doing. That's, without a cameraman, these videos are very difficult for me to do. Anyway, last line. I will cut the camera and finish inking the airplane, we'll come back and put camera in hand. You get an idea what it looked like. Something stopped with the pen here. Even pressure, even speed. And that's it. So as I showed you here, there's not a mystery. It's all by eye. At least that's how I do it. I do measure a little. I already have more or less a plan or a angle of attack that I want to put out for each airplane. It's relatively simple. Let me pick up the camera. There you have it. I've inked this up in a matter of 10 minutes or whatever. How long we've been running here, I can't tell. I'll turn it over, do the bottom. I'll do the elevator stabilizer, and that's it. We'll put some decals and clear on it, and we're done. So we'll see you on the next reel. I hope this kind of gives you an insight on how to ink and how to choose your line layout and what have you. There's all kinds of ways to do it. My way is not the only way. My way just works. So we'll see you in a bit.